A bustling city cafe. Cups clattered, steam hissed from the espresso machine, and the morning rush buzzed like a living heartbeat. At 8:45 a.m. sharp, Elena Grant, CEO of Grant Enterprises, stepped inside as she did every weekday. Her immaculate white suit and sharp heels announced her power before she ever spoke. Across the room, Ethan Blake adjusted the tray in his hands. His heart was pounding. He wasn't just a waiter. Not really. He was a father, a veteran, and a man with unfinished business. For 3 weeks, Ethan had watched Elena come in at the same time, order the same coffee, sit at the same window. Today, it was time. "Good morning, ma'am," he said evenly, setting down the steaming cup. She didn't even look up from her phone. "Leave it there," she replied briskly. Then, his hand slipped. Hot coffee splashed across her pristine suit, dripping onto the marble floor. Gasps echoed through the cafe. Elena shot up, furious. "Are you insane?" she shouted. "You just ruined a $5,000 suit." But Ethan didn't flinch. His voice was quiet, calm, too calm. "I know, I needed you to remember me." Her jaw tightened. Then she looked at his face and froze. "Ethan?" she whispered. 8 years melted away in an instant. 8 years since a war hero with a dream trusted her. 8 years since she walked away. Ethan Blake had once worn a soldier's uniform with pride. He'd dreamed of building a charity to support veterans, a place where no soldier would be forgotten. Elena, young and ambitious, had promised to help him. But when the corporate world offered her power, she took everything, the foundation, the spotlight, the credit, and left Ethan with nothing. Now he wore a faded cafe apron. Every morning he left a small apartment where his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, waited with a packed breakfast and sleepy smile. "Daddy, are you tired again?" she'd ask. He always answered with a smile he didn't feel. "Daddy's just saving for your piano lessons." But the truth was heavier than tiredness. It was betrayal, poverty, pain. When Ethan saw her face on the cover of Forbes, smiling under the headline, "Building a Future of Compassion," something in him cracked. She was praised for a vision that was once his. So he got a job at the cafe across the street from her headquarters. Not to humiliate her, but to make her look him in the eyes again. And today, she finally had. "I just wanted you to know," Ethan said, untying his apron. "Some of us still remember what you did," and he walked out, leaving a silent cafe and a shaken CEO. That night, Ethan tucked Lily into bed and stared at the eviction notice on the table. He'd made his move, but he didn't know what came next. Across the city, Elena lay awake. For years, she'd buried her guilt under board meetings and luxury. But those eyes, Ethan's eyes, had ripped the mask off. She remembered the idealist soldier who'd believed in her. And the moment she chose ambition over loyalty. The next morning, she returned to the cafe. Her expensive heels clicked against the floor, but her voice was softer than anyone had ever heard it. "Ethan." He didn't look up. "You've had your coffee. What do you want now?" "I came to say I'm sorry." He laughed bitterly. "Sorry doesn't pay rent, Elena. Sorry doesn't feed my daughter. Sorry doesn't give my brothers their benefits back." Her breath caught. "You have a daughter?" "Yes," he said quietly. "She's 8. Smart, kind. She deserves better than what the world gave me." Elena reached into her bag and pulled out a folder. "I looked you up last night. I found your foundation plans. You built something incredible. Let me help you rebuild it. Why now?" he asked. "Guilt?" She didn't deny it. "Yes, but also because you reminded me who I was before I became this person." Weeks passed. Against his instincts, Ethan allowed her to help. She used her company's resources to restart the veteran housing program. He ran the operations. She made calls, attended meetings, opened doors. Lily liked her, at first cautiously. Then one night, she fell asleep on Elena's lap after a charity event. The powerful CEO who once ruled boardrooms now sat quietly on a second-hand couch, a child's small hand holding her sleeve. Ethan stood in the doorway, watching. "You've changed," he said softly. Elena looked up, eyes tired but warm. "No, Ethan, you changed me." Months later, the Blake Foundation officially reopened. Reporters filled the hall. Cameras flashed as Ethan and Elena stood side by side. A journalist asked, "Mr. Blake, is it true the foundation was born from a spilled cup of coffee?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Sometimes," he said, "people spill coffee to wake someone up, not out of anger, but because they need to be seen. The crowd laughed lightly, not knowing the weight behind the words. But Alina knew. Backstage, she whispered, you knew exactly what you were doing that day. He nodded. I just needed you to remember the man you once promised to stand beside. She reached for his hand. And I finally do. Lily ran into her father's arms as the crowd cheered. Because life has a strange way of bringing broken souls back together. Not for revenge, but for healing. Ethan didn't spill coffee to destroy. He spilled it to rebuild. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's freedom. Screen fades to black. Soft piano music plays. Text appears, forgive, rebuild, rise again.